My mind, I'm like, when I was setting up, I'm like, we got to hear Bad Boys. What Drax is waiting for. The Ice Boys, man. I want to see the cops out there down the TV chasing them down in the show. We got one. Let's run at him, man. He's in the orchard picking strawberries. Get him. Okay, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? How you doing?
It would, but why is there always some dude in a wife beater t-shirt who gets, way drunk and he ends up on his front lawn tackled? I'm just wondering.
Because they run, okay? They always run. They hit the button and run. It's the dumbest thing, tack on a charge and run, but that's what they do. So I always say it could be called Run, the show, because they always run, then they get caught.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah, just change it up, man. Just like the Ice one, that'd be awesome. Every night, man, I'd change the time of pub chat and stuff. I'd be like, man, that's right, guys. We're moving it back a couple hours. We're all going to be over on StreamYard watching Ice. Get them rocking on. I would love that. That'd be great. Look who came in and joined me tonight, man, before we get over to Joe Soviet Road. And you were doing the two-step out there in Twitterville after the big action in the Middle East. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good, you guys.
Oh, my goodness.
Congratulations to Jason. And oh, my God, yeah, that earthquake yesterday sure was an earthquake, right, Drax?
Yeah, exactly. You called it there, Mademoiselle. But I'll tell you what, man, I never heard Roden this happy before. Well, I have once. It was like around election time. It's been a while. You have to drop a lot of tonnage to make Roden get a smile on that face.
She always gets kind of happy, though, when she has the potential of hitting someone with her frying pans. Just saying.
Oh, my goodness, though. I'm telling you. She was on fire because she called it, Kay. Mademoiselle. She was looking into a ball. She's like, there's no earthquake in that region, for God's sakes. See? Come to Pub Chat, man. Let's find that all out, man. Rock and roll. Roden's happy. That means we're happy. Michelle, how are you doing tonight? From the office of General Paxton.
Hey, guys. I'm doing great tonight. Just been working around the house and doing errands all day. So it was nice to come in and see some friends tonight. Hope y'all are doing good. A little crazy in the world tonight, but yeah.
Definitely an unusual night. Definitely out there. Unusual.
By the way, the president is speaking at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, 9 p.m. to the world, just so y'all know.
Well, maybe around then, if you guys want, I'll find it live and I can maybe pump it in here and we'll hear the president. We'll see if we can get around to that, man. I'm sure everybody's doing that, though, on the Boardwalk to Boulevard, without a doubt. Jason, thank you for coming in tonight. This night is for you. And without that, let me turn it over to the Don King of Twitterville himself, Mr. Joe Lanu.
Well, I appreciate it, Drex, and all you Pub Chat guys and gals helping me put this together. But this is to honor our friend Jason. He's not only the inventor and patent owner of the 3D response school safety system, he's been in law enforcement for 30 years, literally just retired day before yesterday, retirement party and all. So we wanted to get together and not let this little mile marker in one's life, this milestone in one's life, go by without being unnoticed from our online friends here, Jason. But over the last year or so, I've heard a lot of stories from your law enforcement career.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
Well, we decided to do a little bit of research on it, but there was one particular story that you kind of accredit this as what gets you into law enforcement. I mean, let me paint the picture for folks. You were a young man, athletic, played hockey, good enough to play collegiate hockey, but you're taking some bangs and bruises after a couple of years of that. Wasn't sure what you were going to do with your life, and a friend suggested that you go on a ride along, and that ride along changed your life, did it not?
Yeah, most definitely it did.
Were you sporting a mullet at that time frame in your life?
Yeah, this was that might have been mullet time.
Mullet time.
It seems like a yes or no question, so we're going to say that as
I can't remember.
Okay.
If I was playing hockey, I had a mullet.
So what was it about this ride along that sparked your interest? Because you had no interest in law enforcement before this. It wasn't like you're one of those kids that grow up, I'm going to be a cop one day. Just something happened on this ride along that spurred your interest. What was it?
I was assisting the sergeant that I was riding with, and he was in a foot pursuit, and I was behind him, and I wasn't really going full speed at the moment, and I said I can get him, and he said go get him, and I caught up to him, tackled him, and I thought that was pretty fun. you can make money doing this.
So it was kind of the physical aspect. I guess that was similar to hockey that was your initial attraction.
I'm not going to fall into that trap, Joe. It was fun. It was you're not sitting at a desk in an office. It was growing up playing sports my whole life. That was fun.
You know, and you've told this story before. I'm going to be fully transparent to our audience. I've heard this story before, and coming up on your retirement, many of you may be aware. This may not be aware, but most of police records and stuff are public. You can do a freedom of information request, FOIA request, as we call it. So we've done a little background on that. But before we get started, I want to read you the report from Jason's sergeant that he rode with that day in the report of the incident that changed Jason's life. But before we do that, let's make sure we get our disclosures right.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Everyone's name but Jason, that is left in. So let's go back to that day and see what the officer had to say about Jason's performance. And I quote, I read, at approximately 10:47 hours, I, officer, his name is redacted, was on a routine patrol with civilian ride-along participant Jason, a 24-year-old male and collegiate hockey player. Jason was participating in a ride-along as a part of a community outreach program and expressed interest in a law enforcement career. At 12:49 hours, dispatch received a call reporting a naked white male, approximately 30 to 35 years old, running erratically through the 1400 block of Elm Street, causing a public disturbance. The suspect was described as approximately 5'10", 170 pounds, with no clothing and exhibiting erratic behavior. I responded with the call with Jason in the vehicle. Upon arrival at 12:52 hours, I observed the suspect, later identified as John Doe pending identification, running southbound on Elm Street, fully nude in 28-degree weather, with light snow accumulation on the ground. I exited the vehicle, initiated a foot pursuit with Jason following behind as instructed to maintain a safe distance and observe. The suspect maintained a rapid pace, outrunning me by approximately 20 yards, and only after 30 seconds of pursuit. At this point, Jason shouted, "I can catch him, let me get him." Recognizing Jason's athletic background and flowing mullet, along with assessing the suspect as non-threatening with no visible weapons, I authorized him to assist in the pursuit, instructing him to avoid direct confrontation and prioritize safety. Jason accelerated past me with his mullet blowing in the wind and closed the distance to the suspect within 15 seconds. In a controlled maneuver, Jason tackled the subject in the ground on a snow-covered grassy area near 1423 Elm Street, immobilizing him without causing apparent injury. I caught up immediately, secured the suspect with handcuffs, and placed him in custody at 12:54 hours. The suspect was covered with a blanket from the patrol vehicle to protect his modesty and prevent hypothermia. The suspect was transported to the local jail for processing and evaluation as he appeared disoriented and potentially under the influence of an unknown substance. No injuries were reported to the suspect, Jason, or myself during this apprehension. The suspect was charged with indecent exposure, public disturbance. During transport back to the station, Jason remarked, "If being a cop means getting paid to drill naked guys' ass in the snow, sign me up." I advised Jason that law enforcement duties vary, but typically don't involve sexual gratification, and provided him with information on the recruitment process. Nothing follows.
He was naked? He was naked?
Did not hear that in Jason's original story. He recanted that. It was in his details when he told what got him into law enforcement.
No, he was naked.
I'm dead.
Higher than a Georgia pine, probably.
Is there something you want to tell us, Jason? I'm just asking for a friend.
No,
Okay, what else do you want to know? I think it's all in the report.
Oh my God.
Nick Joe.
It is Pride Month, so,
Oh my God.
Well, he
No,
did,
it's true.
and he does retire in Pride Month. Just keep that in mind.
Wow. Congratulations.
Jason, were the twig and berries in your face when you took them down?
No, they were not.
That might not allow for the drilling, the quote drilling unquote, Buck.
The drilling.
Drilling
Jason.
a naked guy's ass in the snow was the exact quote out of the report.
Unbelievable.
Jason.
I think
oh
Ultra's
my.
smoking a cigarette right now.
Oh God, I
If you had it
guys.
coming.
Golly.
But just hang tight, Jason. We have more. We even were able to locate your mullet. Drax and Kay, I know you guys have been busy. Have y'all had a chance to check your DMs?
I have.
Which one of y'all
Looking
like to
now.
talk about? We've got Jason's mullet from the early 1990s that would like to say a few things about Jason's career. If one of you want to start.
I got it here. It's okay. So this is the Jason's mullet thing. For this, you better share the retirement party out far and wide. I came into being on a crisp fall afternoon in 1988 when Jason was a scrappy 19-year-old with dreams bigger than his small town rink walk into Joe's barbershop. Give me something bold, he said, his eyes gleaming with ambition. Joe's clippers buzzed, and I was born. Short and tidy up top, long and untamed in the back, cascading over Jason's neck like a rock star's cape. The mullet were ready to take on the world with him. Oh my God, this is about your mullet, Jason. And he said earlier it was mullet time.
Mullet was a big part of Jason's early life. It was in his formative years, as we like to say.
The Tiger King had a mullet, if y'all remember. I'll give you an example to look at.
Formative years.
What is a mullet?
Oh my Lord.
Here we go.
Have you ever seen Miami Vice? Just asking. Or, Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know.
The Lion or the Tiger King. That's the one that had the mullet.
The Tiger King. It's short up front and long in the back. What is it?
Yeah.
All business up front and party in the back. Jason, is that what they said about it?
Yep, business up front, party in the back.
Yeah, that's it. Business up front, party in the back. Jason sported one.
Then there's the ultimate mullet guy, Joe. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Who's the guy who sang "Achy Breaky Heart"? I think he had
Billy Ray
I
Cyrus.
think he had the all-time early 1990s mullet. I think he was the king of it. I think every mullet wearer strived to be like Billy Ray Cyrus. I have hair like that. But we have one here, Jason. Jason could tell us. I'm sure he knew of it.
It's a brave move, the mullet. At least
the
no
mullet. The mullet was a hockey thing. Back then, you wanted that flow under your helmet in the back when you're skating. It was more of a hockey thing.
Hello.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but he's 100% right because back in the 80s, I had the mullet flowing out the back of the hockey helmet as well. And then I got to Paris Island and I never saw it again.
Want pictures?
Confessions of the Boomers mullets.
Boomer my ass. I think Jason will spank us.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
What did you say about the flow, Jason?
No, you said
That was
I
interesting.
did say that. All right.
I thought
Yeah,
you said it was
you
like
wanted that.
You wanted it under the helmet or something.
No. You wanted the hair out of the back of your helmet to come down, so when you're skating, you got that hair flow in the wind.
Like the arrow, you think the hair had something to do with it? The aerodynamics of it?
No, it just looked cool.
Well, speaking of that, going back to what your mullet had to say about those days, it says, on the ice, the sweat and the roar of the crowd. Tell me if this is accurate, Jason. This was your mullet's point of view. Oh, the ice, the sweat, the roar of the crowd. You were there, mullet flapping proudly under Jason's helmet as he skated for a junior league team with more heart than funding. Jason was a defenseman, all grit and hustle, and you were his signature flair. During one game against a rival, Jason threw a hip check and sent their star forward sprawling. The crowd erupted, and you, mullet, bounced free from his helmet as he pumped his fist, catching the arena's lights like a damn disco ball. Post-game in the locker room, his teammates dubbed you the Flow of Fury, crediting you for psyching out the competition. You swayed as Jason chugged a celebratory beer, feeling like an MVP of his scalp. So there's some your mullet saw it the same way with the flow, I guess.
How do you say that with not laughing? And speaking of beer, now I need a beer. I don't. I didn't know my mullet could talk.
Brother, you might want to pull a cork before this night gets over with, because we're just getting started. That's just your mullet talking. We have some
Oh,
other
God.
blasts from your past.
Jason, it has its own handle now on X, its own social security number, and may I suggest bourbon?
You've got a flask, just saying.
Man, crack a beer for that mullet. That sounds like a good
Quite
friend.
frankly, the mullet it took some coaxing to get the mullet to come clean with this. He said he's been trying to follow Jason since Jason's been on X and has actually blocked him, so he wasn't sure if Jason wanted to hear from him again.
There's some pictures of Jason's mullet in the purple pill I threw in there.
Thank God.
Perfect. Thank God we have some pictures. But we've got Bruce Wayne and I've got Who Dat Girl in the live stream here. They have some reports they want to read. But Jason, you not just your we'll call that your origin stories where you wanted to drill naked guys' ass in the snow, which got you into law enforcement. But you've had a very full career. You've worked as a regular patrolman. I say a regular patrolman, but you've worked as a patrolman. You've worked criminal investigations as a detective. You've been a sergeant in both places. You've worked narcotics, undercover narcotics in HIDA. You worked some both dual and federal and state cases. You've been a school resource officer that's spawned your second passion, which is school safety, which brought us the 3D response that you've been working on for that like 10 years. So that's not nothing new. So that's been a big part of your life. And you've been a lieutenant for quite some time. You've supervised officers. That generates a lot of stories. And once again, we've heard you say a lot of these stories. When you were doing special investigations type of work, did you have the opportunity to do maybe stings for arresting prostitutes for solicitation?
Yes. Yes. This will be good.
You did. And you know what? Bruce Wayne, are you with us?
I am indeed.
Oh, you are. We were able to pull up a FOIA request, and we got a report from one of these operations that you were the undercover in. Let's hear that one. Go ahead, Bruce.
One. Thank you, sir. So it was a dark and stormy night. Rain pounded against the windows and thunder crashed overhead. Flashes illuminating the dark alley, briefly revealing a figure standing hunched against the storm. Jason pulled the brim of his hat down lower over his eyes and wrapped his tan trench coat tight around his broad shoulders, muttering under his breath, "It's quiet. Too quiet. I could do with a little action." Now we go to the police report. At approximately 2100 hours, officers of the Narcotics Task Force, TFOs, conducted an undercover clandestine operation to make lawful arrests for the solicitation of sex or sexual acts for remuneration. This operation would require task force officers to act as clients interested in paying in U.S. currency for offers of sexual acts for gratification against the state of Minnesota's penal code. Task force officers secured 2 local hotel adjoining rooms with a common door, one room to stage as the meeting room, and the other for supporting TFOs and arrest team. TFO Jason was assigned as the undercover officer or client for this operation, with the duties of meeting with persons offering sexual acts for remuneration. At approximately 2300 hours this same date, TFO Jason made contact by telephone and posted Craigslist advertisement indicating a female impersonator offering sexual acts in exchange for U.S. currency. This phone call was recorded, and person who answered the call placed to a phone number posted in the ad agreed to meet TFO Jason at a pre-designated staged hotel room. Once this meeting was coordinated with the Craigslist ad poster, who identified themselves as Christy, TFO Jason and other TFOs assumed their respective places and duties to covertly conduct this operation. TFO Jason and other TFOs reviewed the elements needed for an offense and developed a bust phrase to be used as the signal to employ the arrest team. This phrase was, "It's time to party." At approximately 23:45 hours, The subject, known as Christy, arrived and knocked at the hotel room as pre-planned, though TFO's through Jason's recorded call. TFO, in the adjoining room, monitored the interaction inside the hotel room through pre-placed video and audio recording equipment. TFO Jason answered the door, and a brief introduction was made between both parties. Both Christy and TFO Jason went into the main area of the hotel room, with TFO Jason sitting at the end of the single king-size bed located in that room, with Christy standing. The conversation progressed to the reason TFO Jason responded to the Craigslist ad. Christy offered to do an erotic dance for TFO Jason while he sat at the end of the bed. While this dance was being done, the conversation turned to specific sexual acts for $100 in U.S. currency. This offer was initiated by Christy and fulfilled the requirements of a criminal act in accordance with Minnesota state law. However, TFO Jason did not use the bust phrase identified in the planning of this operation. As the exotic dance continued, Christy began removing clothing to reveal underwear and moved closer to TFO Jason, still in a seated position on the end of the king-size bed. TFOs monitoring the interaction inside the meeting room were able to observe that Christy was more than likely a male, as indicated by the penis-shaped bulge that was clearly present inside the female undergarment Christy was wearing. This interaction went on for some time until they observed Christy place a leg on the edge of the bed besides TFO Jason and push her crotch area close to TFO Jason's face. At this point, the operating commander gave the order to enter the room and take Christy into custody. Christy, later identified as Christopher, was taken into custody without incident and booked into the county jail for solicitation of sexual acts and or performance. Upon conducting an after-arrest interview with TFO Jason, it was revealed that TFO Jason was unable to trigger arrest by using a pre-designated bust phrase due to his efforts to avoid Christy's crotch area from touching his lips. TFO Jason explained that Christy's crotch was so close that it grazed his nose and mouth area several times, and that he was concerned about that area actually entering his mouth if he opened his mouth to speak. The lead investigator submitted the information provided by TFO Jason to the district attorney to decide if further charges were warranted for assault. As of the time of this report, the incident is being investigated in attempts to substantiate the unwillingness requirement or elements for assault. TFO Jason further provided, if you guys ever need a guy to play this role again, please give me a call. End transcript.
Bruce
Jake,
Wayne.
do you remember that particular operation we were able to get the police report from?
No, and Bruce, what the fuck is wrong with you? That is like,
I'm just reading the FOIA information, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
I think
it's all true.
I think you need to look at what Ultra has changed his name and picture to. He's on stage.
I'm just wondering, was that assault by the bulls or by Dick? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which one was that?
I'm speechless right now.
I think you paid for the particular act, Roden. I think is how that transaction went.
I'm just trying to figure the picture. It was a king size bed and all that stuff, but how close it's to your mouth? It's like assault on the officer was a bulls. That's all what I can picture.
A graze would indicate contact.
Oh my!
Jason, I'm sorry. How much mouthwash did you have?
Well, there seems to be a
I'm
theme. Jason went in protective mode. He didn't actually open his mouth. That's why he didn't use the bust signal. So he didn't actually open his mouth during this encounter. But there's a theme. There's another report that's similar, actually.
Does the mullet have anything to say? Officer Jason's mullet have anything to say about it?
Mullet died in
I love
94.
I loved the way that I was able to drape across that female impersonator's chest as Jason eagerly jumped upon her and then said, "This is extraordinarily awkward. I shouldn't feel this way, but I do." And then he went home and took a shower with me and tried to wipe off the shame.
What the
Did
hell
police
did I just
department
listen to?
pay
Yeah,
for
that's just
the
not
I
soap?
don't know, Joe. This is
That's
deep.
bad.
That's
Jason, did police department paid for your soap?
Joe, that's ultra
I
deep
have
right
no idea
there.
what to say.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
my
we
goodness.
could. The mullet did have something. He was with Jason in his rookie years as a cop, and he did have some
Yeah.
things to say about that time period. If we want to hear that, so
100%.
so he says mullet. Says fast forward to 1995, and Jason's traded his skates for a badge, joining the Lakeville Police Department as rookie officer. You, mullet, are still his crown jewel. Though the precinct's old timers gave you side eye, muttering about hippie hair, Jason doesn't care. He's got your back, and you've got his. You were there for his first patrol, riding shotgun, scalp top, as he cruises the quiet streets in his squeaky squad car. One muggy July night, you're with Jason on a call to break up a bar fight at the Rusty Anchor. Two drunk fishermen are swinging pool cues, and Jason, with all his rookie bravado, wades in. You're bouncing as he ducks a wild punch, your strands catching the neon glow of a Budweiser sign. He cuffs the brawlers, and you're practically strutting as he hauls them to the car, his sergeant nodding approvingly. Back at the station, Jason's veterans partners finally cracks a smile. Kid, that mullet's got guts, he says. You swell with pride. Even you're a bit matted with sweat. That's some mullet police time as he remembers it.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Jason, we're just trying to acknowledge the different facets of your life over the last 30 years. You've given a lot to your community, your country, and the rest of us. So thank you.
Would you like it alphabetically or numerically?
We salute you, Jason.
Thank you for your service.
I'm surprised Ken's not popping on this shit yet.
Hang on one
Those
second.
are-
Taking
those are
it
good.
all in. Taking it all in.
He's taking notes.
Somebody that wants probably, I got to talk to this guy real quick, Joe. So let's fly on down to the war room with AJ. He came in tonight. AJ, how are you doing here? We're sitting here with Jason at the retirement party. I know it's a crazy night. How are you doing, AJ?
Hello, Patriots. Great to be amongst you. I stopped by to give my congratulations and best wishes to one of the titans amongst men, Jason, of 3D Response.
I've got to shut them down for a minute while I pull in something here. This guy's just going to talk political shit for fucking 5 minutes.
I'm laughing my ass off right now.
Hey, how do you think it's going? You guys, you guys are hearing it?
Great. Absolutely great.
10 out of 10.
He doesn't know what to do with himself.
What was I saying? Who
Doesn't know
dat?
what's to hit
About
him.
50% just like embarrassment and 50% laughing his ass off.
Yep. And that's accurate.
He's just like, what?
I mean, what's he going to say? If you notice, you've heard these stories, man. I put enough in the stories to it's shit he said. I just changed it. If you go back to the bed story, the prostitute story you read, remember they did that to the other guy, but he didn't say he forgot the bus word. He didn't say the exact bus word, so they left him in there for a little longer.
Yeah, and you just put Jason in there. In the embarrassing.
Well, didn't you say? I said, no, don't you remember this?
Like he just capitulated. He's like, oh yeah, all true. He's a good sport.
You got me. No, it should be fun. I mean, it's all bullshit, but he should have fun with it. I think who dat, if you're ready to go on yours, I'll ask him about the turkey story when we get back in there, and let him say whatever he says, and then we'll read the report.
Okay.
Hey, before you
I'm
unmute,
ready to go whenever you are.
that third or that other story, the last one you posted in the group DM, is someone reading that one?
Remind me.
Oh shoot. Let me look it up. It is
I would
the
do the feces on the lip.
Okay, you got that one.
There's another one though, isn't there?
There is the oh no, maybe. No, actually, I think you already got that one.
I think we've got two more and a couple more. I am the mullet stuff.
Perfect.
All right, we're gonna go back in.
Either so.
And a mullet.
Yeah, I think a mullet's actually required for undercover narcotics work and prostitution stings.
It wasn't when I was doing it. We had plenty of success, but it wasn't a requirement.
If you had one, you were much more successful in those operations.
Okay, I can't argue with that. But like I say, we've been talking in spaces. You do my grand jury show as an expert witness every night. You're essentially my co-host there. We've been doing that for a year. And just over the time, we talk about law enforcement, mainly a lot of it because of the grand jury. And you've told some stories. What's your opinion on tasers in general? Are you a big fan of those? Did that change the way law enforcement's done? Because now you have an off switch for bad guys?
I fucking hate them. They're shit.
And over the years, you've used them on people. So I guess you've had a mixed bag of success with tasers when needed.
Yeah, there's been numerous times they didn't work. What I don't like about them is officers were relying on them too much, and if that doesn't work, it's just not. Drive stuns are okay, but the probes I'm not a fan of. They work on animals though pretty well.
Oh dear, he likes the probes.
So you've had the opportunity to use a taser on an animal?
Yeah, a couple.
What was one a turkey? Did you tase a turkey?
I did. I did tase a turkey, and it was very effective.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Well, interestingly enough, that was another report that popped up on our little FOIA request, and we've got Who Dat Girl here in the studio that would like to read that to the audience. Would you guys like to hear about the turkey tasing incident?
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
Well, welcome, Who Dat Girl. Everybody give Who Dat Girl a big welcome. You're not following X, you probably should be. Who Dat Girl, what did you find in this FOIA request?
Well, good evening, everyone. At approximately 1300 hours, Patrol Sergeant Jason, while on routine patrol in a marked police unit and in full uniform, received a central dispatch call for officer assistance on a previously dispatched animal control call for service. Dispatch advised that the responding officer on scene reported that a turkey located on private property had been advised of their presence on said private property, was unlawful, but refused to comply with responding officer's direction to leave. P.S. Jason responded to dispatched address to assist. Upon arrival, P.S. Jason observed a fully mature male turkey that was both verbally and physically non-compliant with the responding officer on scene. P.S. Jason exited his patrol unit and approached the responding officer and the non-compliant male turkey. P.S. Jason observed that his command presence and lawful orders were ignored by the male turkey, who was visibly irritated. P.S. Jason gave the male turkey another opportunity to comply with his and responding officer's lawful verbal commands to vacate the property or face arrest for trespassing. The male turkey was non-compliant once again. It was at this point when the turkey became physical by flapping his wings to lift the bird from the ground and use his feet as weapons to strike the responding officer. P.S. Jason once again gave verbal commands to stop the assault on the responding officer, and again the male turkey was non-compliant. P.S. Jason employed his handheld taser and displayed the device to the male turkey and once more gave verbal warnings and commands to comply. The male turkey refused these commands and continued the assault of the responding officer, who was fleeing the attacking turkey on foot. P.S. Jason deployed the handheld taser, striking the male turkey in midair with some effects observed. The male turkey fell from the air onto the ground and appeared to submit to the force used. P.S. Jason approached the fallen turkey in an attempt to subdue. As they approached, the male turkey again became airborne and began a second assault on officers. P.S. Jason deployed the taser once more with effect that produced an odor consistent with giblet gravy, and the turkey fell again to the ground and appeared to capitulate to the force used. It was at this point officers were able to take the male turkey into custody. The male turkey, later identified as Tom, was transported to animal control facilities to be held pending court proceedings. Neither the responding officer or P.S. Jason required any medical attention as a result of the turkey assault.
Wow.
Is
Somebody call PETA.
Is that how you remember it, Jason?
That's actually pretty close. That it, it was very effective on the turkey.
Is that the
True
same
story. That actually ended up on the news that night. My chief called in the local news station and they interviewed me, and my godfather was in the hospital for a surgery, and there's his nephew there, and I'm talking about tasing a turkey. Honestly, it was a true story. That story's kind of similar, but it was effective.
So did you get hazed for that by your fellow officers? I mean, did you get turkey parts, turkey recipes, all that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, I think I put a statute of limitations on hazing. I gave him 9 months and he had to stop it, but I let them have their fun. Yeah, I did.
was that was the DNR what he used? I mean, it sounds like you weren't really always fighting chickens. Where the hell were you working? They had to go fight chickens or turkeys, I should say.
They're in the suburbs. It was
oh my god.
The turkey actually was going after his kids, and then when the first officer showed up, the turkey then turned his attention to the officer, and I show up, and the officer is running from the back with this Tom chasing the officer, and I couldn't use a gun, so I just pulled my taser out and fucking blasted him one. It worked.
Oh my god. That was like a wild turkey.
From naked guys to turkeys. You've had a colorful career, darling.
Yeah, let's move past the naked guy thing. That's
Well, do you think that's the last story we have of a naked guy?
Oh god, now I know it's coming. Go ahead.
Well, give us just a few minutes. Let me spur up the next one, and we'll get along with it. We don't have any more from the mullet. He kind of ended it there. It seems like he just faded out somewhere in his law enforcement career. When exactly did you stop sporting the mullet? Circa a year, if you don't mind.
Right when I started, so 1995.
No more mullet.
Nope, mullet died.
All right, man. I heard something. People keep DMing me when they start referring to you as Muff McGruff. Was that right away, or is it when you got older and your voice changed just a little bit?
The only fuckers that do this are Joe and Bruce.
Oh my goodness!
I can't let it go.
That's not true. Who doesn't think that he sounds like McGruff the Crime Dog?
Can you say it for us, Jason? Once, take a bite out of crime.
I'm not going to play that game, Drax.
Come on, Jason, you got it. Come on. This is your look, we have thousands of people that have showed up for your retirement party.
Yes.
Play along, man. Come on, just say it one time. Take a bite out of crime. I can't even do it. You can do it. Come on. You got this.
All right.
Come on, you got it.
Take a bite out of crime.
No,
Oh, for the love.
You told me to say it.
Disappointment.
We're going to have to tell Glenn Morshower about this.
We got to get him some acting lessons for it.
Well, I'm not an actor.
But we can get it. Yeah, we'll remake Rough McGruff. Bring him back, Jason. Bring him back.
And look,
is everybody ready to record him when he does it?
Yeah, it's not the fact that you're not an actor. You intentionally didn't use your real voice. If you just use your real voice, you're not acting. If you just said normally, take a bite out of crime, people would look for the dog with the trench coat.
Yeah, you definitely went up a couple octaves when you said it.
Yeah, you did. It was intentional.
Y'all get a chance. Check out Rough McGruff, man. He's on YouTube. I've just seen a bunch of the old videos. How cheesy. What would they be today, Kay? It'd be so different. I mean, they were like in those commercials. Wow. They were like a little different era there. And nowadays it's like, hey, we're at a protest, man. And this guy's burning somebody alive with a multi cocktail. Take a bite out of it. We're going to get him.
Well, that plus, it would feed into the whole anti-policing, which is horrible. And I don't know. You can't even do the DARE commercials anymore.
Yeah, they would have defunded that dog.
Were any of those effective, we think?
Probably not.
No, I did like the t-shirt Dare or Dead the Dare shirt. I wore that in high school.
No, the program DARE was actually effective in the education part, but my God in heaven, when you want someone, to basically not do something, you don't tell them necessarily not to do it 100%. I don't know.
It was more an infomercial.
Yeah, actually, Drax, you wore that Dare shirt because you were daring them to catch you.
Yeah, damn right.
Oh,
Dare actually was effective. Dare actually was effective with relationships with cops and kids. That's what came out here.
Exactly. The education part. But Drax, I'm just wondering, given, I don't know, your life story, is it possible that Jason actually, and you had an interaction at some point?
I've been questioning that since I met Jason. I was, and I didn't think so because I kind of asked him. I don't know if you remember. I was like, you didn't work up in the Flint, Michigan area, did you?
No, I did not.
See, CK, he did not. But I had questioned that. I've questioned it.
Oh, phew! And at least you weren't, naked in the snow somewhere. That'd be bad.
Well, speaking of naked folks, Jason, you had the occasion to respond to a pretty strange call with another nude man. You remember this story?
Goodness gracious.
Seems to be a trend.
What was happening with this second nude male?
It was a mental health call.
Well, they're all that.
Well, I was able to get this report. Let's take a listen to the official story of this day where Jason's second nude male call. Let's see what his partner, his other responding officer on this call had to say. At approximately 1500 hours, officer's name is redacted. A reporting officer, hereinafter referred to as RO, on a routine patrol in fully marked police unit and full uniform, when Central Dispatch broadcasted a call for service at 1234 Redacted Street for a check the welfare call. General Dispatch added family members were concerned for an adult male's welfare, reported that the man was nude and acting in a manner that was not normal for him. Reporting officer checked en route to this call, along with police officer Jason, last name redacted, here referred to as police officer, who volunteered to back up RO after Naked Man Call was broadcasted. The reporting officer arrived at the address at 1510 hours and noticed police officer Jason was on scene. Reporting officer met with police officer Jason and formulated plans to make contact with the reported naked man subject. Reporting officer and police officer Jason knocked and announced their presence at the residence front entry door. More than once, after more than once knock and announce without response from inside the residence, police officer Jason tried the front entry doorknob to find the door unlocked. Reporting officer and police officer Jason made the decision to enter the residence to check for the welfare of the reported naked man. Officer Jason opened the front door, announcing their presence. Officers opened the front door, announcing their presence, while both officers were in full uniform. Entered the residence. Reporting officer noticed a strong, unpleasant odor inside the residence upon entering. Police officer Jason was in the lead as both officers made their way through the front entry room towards the residence kitchen area, where officers observed a nude white male, later identified as name redacted, standing at a cooktop range, apparently cooking something in a pan. The odor observed upon entry was much stronger and more pungent in the kitchen area. The nude male turned from the cooktop with a cooking pan in his hand to face officers when he became aware of officers' presence. As the nude male turned, he slung the contents of the cooking pan into the direction of police officer Jason, who made attempts to avoid while moving to subdue the nude male. Reporting officer also moved towards nude male, and both reporting officer and police officer were able to put nude male into custody using light open hand techniques and handcuffs to restrain nude male from assaulting officers or causing harm to himself. Once the nude male was secured, police officer Jason went to examine the substance slung at officers from the cooking pan. With little examination, it was supposed by both officers that the nude male was cooking human feces in the pan, and that it was human feces that he actually threw at officers. Reporting officer began taking photographs to memorialize the scene as officers found it. During this recording process, reporting officer observed a small dark-colored speck on the bottom left lip of police officer Jason's lower lip. RO believed it to be a portion of human feces due to its consistent color, texture, and odor that was flung at PO Jason's direction when the officers approached the nude male in the kitchen area. Reporting officers photographed the suspected human feces located on the floor, and then the speck located on police officer Jason's lower left bottom lip on the edge of the border of the dry and wet portion that is common with human lips. Reporting officer cautioned PO Jason not to move his lips due to the fact that suspected human feces was very close to being consumed or inside police officer Jason's mouth. Reporting officer photographed the suspected human feces speck and collected as per department policies with a cotton swab. Nude male was taken into custody and transported to mental health facility for a 72-hour mental evaluation as per Minnesota state law. The suspected human feces was photographed and logged into evidence and placed into evidence locker 22 for safekeeping. Neither reporting officer or police officer Jason required any medical attention, only a fresh prepackaged wet and disposable wipe to clean any residue remaining from the speck of suspected human feces. End of report.
Oh my God, they logged the log.
Jason, that's how it happened? Pretty accurate report, seems like.
It's close. And do you know how I know you were in law enforcement at one point?
Yeah. Which part?
It happened to him too?
No, just when you work in a police department and the way Joe's talking right now, and it's that we rip on each other so much and we just try to throw each other under the bus. But when shit hits the fan, we're tight. And I think Joe and I have developed that relationship that when you meet another cop or a former cop, you click because you have that same mentality. So I'm having a blast listening to this, but actually, Joe, that is a true story, not the way you explained it, but yes, I did.
You heard it here, folks. Here first, folks. It was a true story, just as told.
You're jumping. No, I didn't say just as told. It was a schizophrenic who was.
That's what I think everybody heard.
All right, Joe, totally true. Everything. There was shit on my face.
Oh my God.
No, there wasn't. He tossed poop at me.
On your lips.
Okay.
If you're close as officers when shit hits the fan, imagine how close you are when it leaves the skillet.
Well, Jason, what I want to say is it's been fun roasting you, and I'm everyone's pitched in to kind of do this, but I think that we're going to end the roasting. I think the president's going to talk here in 2 minutes. We come back. I've got some other folks that have things to say about you, and I got some other things I would like to play about your last day on duty. That what you're going to hear, folks, going forward is 100% true, no bullshit. The real story and the how people really feel about Jason and his law enforcement career.
I can't fucking wait.
Oh my God. That's why I love Jason.
Man, you're probably going to feel bad after you hear what I got.
Hey, is anybody, just for the hell of it, Anybody gonna stream the president's?
I have it up right now, Ken, on YouTube. If he comes up,
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring it? Do you want me to bring in the audio on my feed?
yeah, if you can.
Yeah,
It would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Laura Loomer's. I can send you the Rumble link. Laura Loomer's got it up on. It's not live yet, but apparently it's going to be. I don't know.
Lord, give me strength.
All right,
Yeah,
President
we're in
Trump.
it.
President Trump's on deck. Iran. Everybody's in the fight. See him tonight. Quote it out, and we'll repost your quote post.
Okay, I've got it up. The stream has not began yet.
So, Jason, I was just wondering if you go down to see Ken at his studio, can you do one final arrest for us and slap the cuffs on Ken, bend him over the desk?
He might like it.
He does not have a badge and gun anymore.
No, I do. I have a lot of guns. And
hey, I wanted to ask you: do they let you keep your service weapon when you retire?
yeah, I had to buy it.
Right.
Yeah, I have 2 Glocks, shotgun, and trying to buy the AR-15 that was in my squad that they still have.
They're all at the bottom of a lake, aren't they? Okay.
So they are they. You said you're trying to buy it. They won't let you.
There's a process for those. The Glocks. One of my Glocks was actually held as evidence for about 18 months in my shooting.
More turkeys, huh? No.
So that's are those, and y'all carried 40s.
When I started, it was a 40. We switched to 9s. I want to say about 12 years ago.
Gotcha.
Now, you said you weren't in Flint, Michigan for Drax there, Jason. Were you by chance at the Capitol, not on January 6th, but several years before when you might have arrested someone for praying? I don't know. The handcuffs were really tight, and I just wanted to know.
Wasn't me.
Drax, you weren't even born when Woodstock happened. That's not Drax. That's Ridiculous K. I think it was in the Capitol. It was after, around the Vietnam riots, in DC.
My God. It was just 4 years ago. I was arrested for praying. They call it incommode hallway.
When I tell that story, then I really got to fix the ears out there. So people that heard that story from me, we're going to change it up. Okay, sorry. I had you after Woodstock, man, putting fig leaves on the statues with your parents.
I was born in 66, for the love of God. I was probably 3 when Woodstock happened.
And you don't know.
Folks, we have the president.
Wow. Short and sweet, nice and neat from the president.
Yeah, and that's it. No questions, no more. He said his piece, and that's it.
I like him. He's not fucking around. That's what we needed. Enough's enough. I think my whole life we've been in conflict with Iran. It's been my whole life.
Same. Yep. Shane just came up to the stage. I think he knows Jason. I could be wrong.
You know what? Before we go to Shane, let me play one thing. Just a real short here. Let's see if Jason recognizes this voice.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and I worked with Jason as a dispatcher for 24 years. I actually started in Lakeville as a reserve in 1997, and as a reserve, we were able to ride along with the officers. That was part of our duties, and I was able to ride with Jason on a few occasions. One that really stands out to me the most was, it was probably about 1 a.m, and we were just on patrol in a neighborhood and saw a young man who was walking, and Jason decided to step out with him because he looked pretty young, could be out after curfew. And as he was talking to him, asking questions, where are you coming from? I'm sure assessing whether he had been drinking or under the influence of anything, got his ID from him. Right after that, he said, he pointed at his lower leg and said, "What do you have on your leg?" And the young man lifted up his pant leg, and he had a piece of paper rolled around his lower leg. And he pulled it out and just said, "This is something I need for school, and I just didn't want to carry it because I have a long way to walk." And I was astounded by that high level of perceptiveness. I mean, I know officers are trained to be situationally aware, but to see such a small line that would have been around his pant leg, to notice that, I mean, he was wearing jeans. That's a thick fabric. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that anyone would notice that, even someone who was trained. So it was extremely impressive, and it just kind of stood out to me that that's the kind of guy Jason is he is so highly perceptive of what's going on around him. Just very high level of critical thinking skills. And he is always able to tell you what you need to hear and be genuine and honest and blunt about it, but in a way that doesn't defeat you or destroy you, in a way that makes you actually want to do better, like become a better person. Because he would tell you what you had done wrong, but he would also offer solutions or different ways you could have done things. And that approach was so effective in helping the people around him. It just led him to be such a exceptional leader, because people want to follow somebody who will be honest with you and genuine and tell you what you need to hear, and yet still inspire you to do well. And of course, he always used humor when dealing with situations too, in a really unique way that I think a lot of you are aware of. One other moment that really stands out is when dispatching for him one night. It's night shift, admin's gone, Jason's a sergeant. And I'm not even sure how it started, but I think I was airing something about a domestic they had gone to and had looked up some of the previous incidents there. And I said, "Be advised, there's a history of domestics here." Something similar to that. I can't quite remember. I'm old. But it snowballed from there to where almost every transmission after that, people were using the phrase, "be advised." So the next officer went on a traffic stop. He said, "Be advised, I'll be at, Cedar and 160th. And soon every transmission contained that little phrase, "be advised." And it got so big that even other agencies were getting on our radio. Scott County deputy got on our radio and said, "Be advised, I'll be stopping out with a vehicle on 35 and it's a motorist assist. He has a tow on the way." And, Jason being the sergeant, he's the one and he's the boss. He comes in the room and at first we're thinking, we're going to get in trouble for this. It's not really professional. But instead there was a whiteboard behind us in dispatch. He took a marker and he started tallying every time someone said it. And I think we got up to about 60 times. And so he was laughing and it was so fun. And it just kind of showed that he was willing to allow something that maybe most people wouldn't have. But, as those really dramatic, high intense, stressful moments can bond people together, in law enforcement situations, so can the really fun moments. And I think it was an awareness of, people talk about team building and that was an impromptu, spontaneous one, but it really did. It was something we all talked about for a long time afterwards and had a lot of fun with. So those are the things that stand out to me about Jason. It's the perceptiveness, the integrity, the genuineness, the honesty, the very logical and highly analytical, mixed in with a whole lot of fun and humor. And because of those things, he's so highly thought of and well spoken of by coworkers and the public and the people that he comes in contact with. And, he's made a big impact on me. So I think that's a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So sincerely, Jason, I thank you. And I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future, because all of those traits mixed in with, your motivation and your ambition, I don't doubt at all that you won't continue to do great things. And really thankful and proud that you're my friend. So that's all. Sorry I took up so much time, and have fun, guys, roasting him. He's going to love it.
So, Jason, that's a dispatcher you work from that she wanted you to be advised how she and others that she worked with have viewed you during your career.
That was cool. She's a good friend. She's a great dispatcher. That was cool.
She thinks a lot of you, and she made it very clear that she wasn't the only one. You're, I want to go to Shane, but I think after Shane, if everybody's okay with it, I'd like to play Jason's last call. It's a tradition in law enforcement. If you retire, they kind of broadcast your last call is significant, last time, because you check in service. When you go to work, you get on the radio even before you're there, you call out your number and you show me in service. And he's done this for 30 years. The last time he did it, they recorded it, and we have that. By the way, it's on Facebook with over 11,000 views, and I don't know the comments there. If Jason, you haven't seen those, you should go take a look at them. Maybe the folks that you served there, it looks like the community also thought very highly of you as well. But Shane, for you guys who don't know, he's not only our resident Minnesota representative that we like to lean on and talk shit to, but he's also a cousin of Jason's. And Shane, you want to say anything about Jason? You can still roast him if you want. I know you got in late. I'll allow it.
Well, okay. First of all, Jason, I want you to know, for those that don't know, I was at his retirement party on Thursday, on ironically Juneteenth, which is hilarious. But nevertheless, I was there, sent on a mission. Not only that I would have been there anyway, but Joel put me up to when we collaborated. He didn't put me up to it. to try to get as many stories as I could about you. The funniest thing of all your colleagues, including the guy that you roasted that night at your own retirement party, everybody's answer was, including your brother, oh, I can't tell that story publicly. And they didn't say what story. They just would think of something like, oh, no, I can't say that one either. So I don't know what the hell stories they all have, but they're pretty tight-lipped. Might have been kind of funny. Go, and listening to the last one we had, from that young lady, like, I think she was there, if I'm not mistaken, Jason. But either way, the next chapter of his life is 100% 3-year response, and that's going to be his focus. And I'm going to do everything I can to help get that passed, and in the coming year, so that we can keep the staff and the kids safe. And to me, it's I don't like unfunded mandates, but we have fire suppression systems. And that's the one thing Jason keeps saying. And look at how many kids have died since fire suppression was put in schools. It's nothing more than a commercial building code. I'm on that committee. It's a no-brainer to me. It's a lot cheaper if you do it on the front side than you do it on a retrofit. So let's just start implementing this and moving it forward. And Jason, another little funny thing, I was at a wedding tonight. And thank God you don't have to put that damn vest on a day like today, because I was telling Joe earlier today, like, it's bloody hot up here. And of course, he laughed at me because this is nothing for what they go through. But at this particular wedding, they had their choice. I had my choice of Coors Light or Bud Light. I said I'll have neither. So Jason should get that one.
Oh my gosh.
Jason's a Coors Light guy, and Busch Light's just a little bit much for me, so I just took neither. But either way, I've known him his entire life, because he's a few years younger than me. But it's become a really good friendship in the last 4-ish, 5-ish years, whatever it's been. We didn't actually spend that much time around each other when we were younger, ironically, but now we do, and we talk a lot, and he's got a great family, great wife, great boys. Look forward to all the stuff we got going forward. God bless you, man.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Joe, I've got a real quick question for you before we go to Jason and before you play the clip. Number one, are there any naked guys involved? And number two, Shane, are you certain that it wasn't Bud Light?
Actually, my beer that I normally drink is Bud Light, and Jason gives me shit about it all the time. But Busch Light is generic. Busch Light is generic Bud Light, and I'm just not into generics.
Kay, ask me that question one more time, please.
In the last call that you're going to play for Jason, are there any naked guys involved? One. And my second question was to Shane, was he certain that it was not Bud Light that Jason preferred?
No. Okay. No.
Well, I mean, you would think with his history, Bud Light would be more up his alley, but I see your point, Kay. It's strange. She likes Coors Light.
So speaking of being not gay with 2 children and a wife who's in this room, I must say, my wife is not a public speaker. I will give her the utmost credit that she mustered up the strength to stand up and talk. And I purposely tried not to listen to her because I knew I would not be able to talk after hearing her. And then my 2 boys talk. But if you can bring her up real quick, I'd really love for her to say something. Joe, you know who she is, or Shane, you know, but
it's just Mrs. Jason. It's all we're referring to her as Mrs. Jason.
All right.
100%.
And by the way, Mrs. Jason needs to either I have the wrong phone number, or like Mrs. Jason sucks at looking at her phone.
She just yelled at me no, so we're not going to go there. But I will tell you, there's been times through the course of my career where giving CPR to a baby and having a baby die in your hands, and your son is the same age as that baby, and I would call her in full tears and say, I'm coming home. And I just wanted to hold my boy. Moments like that, when I was working in narcotics, she worried about me all the fucking time. because we were doing, my phone would ring nonstop, and Joe knows this. Like, it's 2:00 in the morning. You have an informant that said, "Hey, I got 2 kilos of fucking meth here. Get over here," and the whole team goes. And your narcotics is probably, I think, in my personal opinion, more dangerous than SWAT. And I would say narcotics is way more tactical than SWAT because we do it all the time. But that was a stressful period in her life, and I thank God that I had her during those years, because she truly has been my rock, where I could come home and just unload emotion, and so supportive, love her to death. I truly married an angel. Sometimes I don't think I deserve her, but I thank God that she's by my side. So you're in here. I hope you heard that.
To Miss Jason, okay, there's one story I got to tell you before you play this thing, because I was trying to think of like the kind of funny stories of Jason. So I don't know, it had to be about 20 years ago, give or take. We all went to Vegas for a surprise birthday party for Jason and I's grandmother. And I don't know, it was like a 3-day thing, whatever the hell it was. But I come down the elevator and I find Jason sitting at the bar, which has the poker in the bar. And I believe Mrs. Jason was sitting to his right, but there was this gal sitting to his left that I then sat to the left of that gal. Well, come to find out, this gal's a prostitute, and Jason's like asking her all kinds of questions, like how does this all work? How much money do you make? And then she revealed how much money she made, and then Jason got like livid pissed. I have never seen, we were cracking up. He's like, she said how much she makes per year, and he kind of proclamated how much he makes per year, but he gets shot at. And I'm thinking in my head, well, sort of, so does she, and this is a different way. But like, he was like, just like so engulfed in like how wrong it is that doing something that he is tasked with arresting or prohibiting makes such an astounding amount more money a year. Well, then also she goes, hold on, I got to go. I'll be right back. She taps out. We're sitting there, whatever, chatting. She comes back like 8 minutes later, and Jason couldn't help himself. Well, where'd you go? Well, I had a John or a job, or however she said it. And that quick. to Jason's credit, like, he was dumb. Actually, I was dumbfounded too, but he was so passionate about how much money that young lady made. And I don't even know if it was 8 minutes, man. She was gone and back and made her a couple $100 just like that. Absolutely hilarious, because he was so whipped up about it. It was good times.
Oh my gosh. Well, quick question. Jason, is your wife Erin down below? Is that who I need to bring up?
She doesn't want to. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. There's something that somebody has requested that I read to you, Jason, which I will absolutely do because it's really actually quite lovely. Let me find this because I had it pulled up. Hold on a second. Damn it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm going to try to read it without crying. Let's see. Can you tell Jason there is an officer in the room who greatly appreciates him? Because one night I was in a very dark place. I was very down, sad, and down with the state of law enforcement. He and I just had a little banter back and forth, and it was greatly appreciated. His kindness in just listening to me, because I have no other officers or friends to ever talk to about these things. It meant quite a lot. I was on the edge, and his kindness pulled me back. A major thanks.
I know who you're talking about, and you're welcome. Anytime.
I love hearing those kind of things, y'all. I really do.
Short and sweet, nice and neat.
There you go. It works every time.
Okie dokie, Joe, are we going to play this last call for him?
I am ready to do so. Now, folks, this is posted on the City of Lakeville, Minnesota's police department page. But there's a note that goes along with it. And it says, after 3 decades of service, Lieutenant Jason Polensky is hanging up his badge and retiring from the Lakeville Police Department. His dedication and impact over the years have shaped our agency and strengthened our community. He leaves behind a legacy of commitment and will be missed by so many. Help us celebrate his well-earned retirement and wish him all the best in his new adventures. And that is from the City of Lakeville, Minnesota Police Department. That's their message to Jason. And here's Jason's last call.
Attention all units, stand by for a final call. After 30 years of dedicated service, Lieutenant Jason Polensky is retiring from the Lakeville Police Department. Throughout his career, Lieutenant Polensky has been a driving force behind many of the initiatives that have helped our agency grow and adapt. With a true passion for serving both the elderly and children, he has been a trusted and compassionate educator, always striving to strengthen public safety through community engagement. His versatility was evident in the many supplemental assignments he held, excelling in each role with professionalism and heart. Lieutenant Jason Polensky, you are officially 10-7. Thank you for your decades of service and your unwavering commitment to those we serve. Enjoy your next chapter. You've earned it. Lakeville Clear.
What is up, everyone? Surveillance cameras are everywhere.
And that went out over the radio waves. Every officer, everybody had a scanner. Everyone heard that on his last signing out. So I know that's of some significance. I wanted you guys to hear it. And I know it means a lot to Jason and his family and other police officers. But guys, I'm going to shut down the stream. That's what I had for you tonight, Jason. Wanted to roast you real well, but I wanted to end with some true feelings that the people of Minnesota and in your area owe you a debt of gratitude for your service for 30 years. It's a long road to get there. So congratulations, my friend. And I'm going to shut down the stream and I'll join you guys in the space.
Thanks, brother.
Oh, that's great. And you've got a lot of folks here who want to